We're here with Mitch Everts, the founder of the People's Bill. Mitch, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Great. So tell us what's going on. You've got some hot stuff happening right now.
Yeah, our bill is being sponsored in the state legislature, which is cool. And we just got the endorsement of the Missoulian Editorial Review Board. And we expect it to be sponsored on a federal level in a day or two.
Awesome. And so for people that don't know and haven't seen the show before with you on it, what is the People's Bill?
Yeah, it's an option for students to repay their loans out of a small additional income withholding. So a student could choose between 3 and 10% of additional income withholding to pay down their loans.
And that's important because right now, students getting out of college, they're paying higher than 10%?
In many cases, that's what happens, particularly right after they graduate when they're working transitional jobs that pay below an average salary. The combination of federal and non-federal student loans amount to more than 10%. And even though there's income-based repayment, like federal student loans will allow for capping it at 10%, and then non-federal student loans will allow for options that will allow students to pay anywhere between 10 and 20%. It means that it's 10% plus another 10 to 20% of their income, which amounts to, just a crippling amount of debt.
Yeah.
And tell us about defaults. How many people are defaulting?
Yeah, after 3 years, on average, the cohort default rate is 13.7%. But people that go to a for-profit school are defaulting 19.1% of the time after 3 years. Almost 20%. And this lowers the default rate to the unemployment rate of college graduates, which is 3.8%, or 8.1%, which is the unemployment rate of those who only have some college.
Wow. So what kind of new information can you tell us about the process of where it's at right now and how far it has to go?
Sure. Well, I expect it to be sponsored in the next day or two on a federal level. And then from there, I do not expect this being a partisan issue. I think there's Republicans and Democrats with a lot of student loan debt, and it becomes an issue that is relevant to most Americans.
It's funny how certain things bring us together. It's always like a lot of things bring us together out of mutual hate for certain things.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
especially
Sure.
no one likes student loans, and it's like I don't like student loans too.
Hey.
Right.
But you're Democrat. No. But yeah,
That's right.
I think it's great because that's it's like one of those. I like to call it a make sense bill. It like totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It was picked up by 2 Democrats, right?
Yeah, in Missoula, and then we have the support of several others. John Lewis endorsed it, Amanda Curtis endorsed it, and we expect it to continue to be nonpartisan. And one interesting issue for Republicans that I've dealt with is that some have considered it a tax. It's not a tax. It's a payroll deduction that you can choose as an individual to pay off your student loans.
Yeah, it doesn't affect anyone else.
Exactly.
Right? It just
Exactly.
is you, the individual.
And the nice thing from what I remember last time is it is completely optional.
Completely optional, right? Our polling indicates that the vast majority of students will use this option. And they like it because it's relative to their income.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got the support from these senators?
Yeah, we had a rally where we had several hundred students making phone calls to candidates, and I witnessed one of the more genuine displays of leadership that I've ever seen from a candidate, and it was John Lewis personally answering the phone calls of students that called into every federal candidate.
That's awesome. Cool.
So what has to be done next? What do you have to do to help this move forward, but also keep it safe from adding other stuff along with it? Just little things.
Well, the one man in America who will decide whether or not students have this option is Speaker John Boehner, and we're gonna have people phoning in and letting him know how much this would mean to him.
Cool.
It's pretty crazy that it started all out with you here in Missoula, Montana, and now it's potentially going to be a national law.
It's the beauty of our system, really.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an elected official to get involved in the process, and I tell you, it's been pretty neat to see students and parents come to me explaining that this is the only way that they could pay for college.
Yeah.
So my next question is, besides Montana, what other states have garnered this bill's support?
Right now, we've got the support of some officials on a state level, but I expect it to be sponsored nationally in a short period of time.
Cool.
So where can people find more information about this bill and read more about it?
Yeah, they can go to thepeoplesbill.com. or they can follow us on Twitter at The People's Bill.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions, guys?
No, I think
No?
that's it.
Yeah?
Pretty much
Cool.
covered
Pretty
it.
Well, thanks for the update. Just keep in touch, and we
Yeah.
want to hear more about what happens next.
Sure, I'd love to come back anytime.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be all over the news on MSNBC and CNN probably.
Yeah.
We hope so.
And we'll be the first people to have you, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is how I will start off my day.
Yeah.
Awesome.